Hi, I'm Thorstein from Cinema Terror, and it's been a while since I've done a top 10 list from the 80s now, so I figured today would be as good of a day as any to continue, and now we're up to the year of 1985. If you're new to my channel, then you can find my previous older videos that cover the top 10 horror films from each year of the 80s up until this one on my channel. 1985 was a big year for horror, and the hardest part about this list was which order to put the top films in, as there are several personal favorites of mine to be found from this year. I'm sure most of these will be familiar to those who enjoy this genre, then I can happily tell you that all 10 of these films are definitively worth buying. So without wasting more of your time, here is my list of the top 10 horror movies from 1985. We start off at number 10 with the Stephen King horror anthology Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye contains 3 stories, with one of them being the wraparound. The way we get to each story is that we follow a cat on his long journey to get a child that is telepathically calling out for his help, which leads us to the final story. Like most anthology films, there is a variety in quality in the different stories. I absolutely love Quitters Inc. with James Woods, while I find the gambling one called The Ledge to be a bit boring, and the final wraparound called General is fun due to the little monster that shows up, old armed and ready to kill young Drew Barrymore. Cat's Eye has some high and low points, but is overall a solid enough anthology to deserve the inclusion on this list.
Stephen King's Cat's Eye.
Up at number 9, we go back to the franchise that has been in all of these lists so far with Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. This controversial Friday film separates itself from the previous 4 by having a Jason Voorhees copycat and just a different feel to it. The film was directed by David Steinman, who had a background in exploitation films, which gives sense to why this one has the most sleazy feel out of the franchise. Many fans look down on this film, and while I certainly don't see it as one of the best Jason films, it is still fun enough to get on this list.
Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
Here we go with number 8 and talk about a unique film. Larry Cohen's The Stuff is a satirical horror comedy about a yogurt-like product coming to life and taking over humans. I know some might be surprised or mad about this not being higher up on the list, and the response to that is that Cohen movies don't work that well for me for some reason, like they do on others. If you want something fun and different that are smart enough to give some social commentary while insane yogurt stuff is going on, then you will not go wrong with The Stuff.
Coming soon for you, The Stuff.
At number 7 we go to another big 80s franchise with A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. This odd entry into the Freddy series goes into a different direction, and while it's not as solid of a film as the first and third one, and I'd argue the fourth as well, Freddy's Revenge still works, perhaps more as a standalone story from a perspective we rarely get than as a Freddy film. This is a film you might need to warm up to a bit, so if you only seen this once, then give A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Freddy's Revenge another chance.
A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2.
You are all my children now.
And at number 6 we have the first non-US entry to this list with Dario Argento's Phenomena. This strange insect-driven supernatural film is quite different from anything else you will see on this list. Hell, it's different than pretty much anything else out there. Phenomena stars the lovely Jennifer Connelly early on in her career, and you also have Donald Pleasant and Daria Nicolodi present. Phenomena is perhaps the most experimental film of Argento, and while I can't say it always has a logic, the brilliant touch of Argento makes Phenomena into a unique, stylish experience. Over the halfway mark now at number 5, and here we got a big favorite in the horror community with Reanimator. Some might want this loosely based H.P. Lovecraft film a bit higher up on the list, but after revisiting it recently I found more flaws in it than what I could remember. Don't get me twisted though, Reanimator is a fun film with some of the best traits of 80s horror, with the over-the-top gore, a charming silly tone running through it, and memorable characters such as Jeffrey Combs in his iconic performance as Dr. Herbert West. Director Stuart Gordon was with Reanimator able to create a film that will always be kept dear to the hearts of horror fans worldwide.
You'll never get credit for my discovery. Who's going to believe a talking head get a job in a sideshow?
It will scare you to pieces.
It's getting tougher and tougher now, as we now enter spot number 4 with Tom Holland's Fright Night. This was actually the second highest grossing horror film of the year, only beat by previously mentioned Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Fright Night keeps the entertainment factor high from start to finish and is one of those great 80s horror films that are safe to show to the younger ones without it having to compromise its content. Fright Night is loved by horror fans and has so far gotten a sequel, a remake that had another sequel, and even a Bollywood remake. If you haven't done so yet, then you absolutely need to see Fright Night.
Fright Night. If you love being scared, this could be the night of your life.
Entering top 3 now, and let's just say that the remaining ones are filled with flesh-hungry evil. First up at number 3 is The Return of the Living Dead. This zombie film took a comedic route, and the result is one of the most entertaining zombie films ever put on film. It's credited as the mark where zombies started getting focused on brains, and it sparked 4 more sequels, with 2 of them also being good, while we shouldn't talk about the last 2. The Return of the Living Dead is another one that embodies 80s horror cinema and is well deserving of getting a top 3 spot.
The Return of the Living Dead.
And nearly making it to the top with the second spot is Lamberto Bava's Gorefest Demons. This is not a film to look at if you want a coherent story and character development. Instead, this is for those of us who enjoy when a movie goes into crazy mode with excellent special effects, what the fuck moments, stylish and horrifying images, and simply just fun. With Dario Argento on board as a producer and Sergio Stivaletti in charge of the awesome gore effects, Bava Jr. gave us what many believe is his biggest achievement as of yet. Demons is fantastic, and if this is a film you haven't gotten around to yet, then do it as quickly as possible. And the best horror film of 1985, at least when it comes to my personal opinion, is George Romero's Day of the Dead. The third entry to Romero's Of the Dead franchise is a great conclusion to what he started with on Night of the Living Dead back in 1968. And yeah, I know there eventually came more Romero zombie movies, but these 3 first on their own make up for a pretty darn great zombie trilogy. Day of the Dead has everything you would want, with amazing gore effects, fun characters, and even introducing a favorite zombie, Bub. Day of the Dead is well deserving of the crown of being the best horror film from 1985.
The dead shall have their day. Day of the Dead.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
So there you have it, my top 10 favorite horror films from 1985. Did you agree with much of the list? Some choices I did that you were totally against? Give your feedback in the comment section below, and if you like this top 10 list and want me to hurry up with the next one for 1986, then pressing that like button does get my attention. As always, a huge thanks to everyone who watches my stuff, and if you're new, then there are plenty of more content to find on my channel, so make sure you check that out. Thank you for your time and keep on watching scary movies.